You're listening to Praying with Power and Purpose.
Hello, dear ones, and welcome to another episode of Praying with Power and Purpose. This is Z from ZariBanks.co. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday, April 16th, 2017. Many are celebrating Easter. I just came back from Passover at Chuck Pierce's church, Glory of Zion, at Global Spirit Center in Corinth, Texas. That was phenomenal. I've been sowing into that church since 2012, and I finally got to set my feet there, and it was so awesome. I prayed to the Lord. I'm like, let me meet Chuck, let me meet all the people that I've been watching online forever, and I got to meet everybody that I wanted to meet. And the funny thing is like, I was literally running into them. The first time I ran into Chuck, I was coming out of the bookstore, and I just turned the corner, and boom, he's right there, and I'm like, dude. Well, I didn't say dude. I said, hello, sir. God bless you. All that stuff. And I could barely say anything because, when I get all excited and hype, my brain comes and goes. And I know some people get all excited about celebrities and stuff like that, but these powerhouses of God are my celebrities. So I was all breathless. I got to meet Barbie Breathitt, and I got a picture of her. I didn't get to take a picture with Chuck, but I got a picture of him up close and personal. 3 pictures of him up close and personal. I was about to meet him, but I was like standing around just looking at him for a long time instead of just walking up to introduce myself. That by the time I actually was getting ready to make a move, he grabbed the microphone to get the session started, so I just snapped a picture of him. But it was just a blessing to be there. It was phenomenal. Met a lot of people, met some people from the Virgin Islands and different places around the world, from New Mexico, from Louisiana, all different kinds of places. Of course, lots of people from Texas, and it was just a really exciting time. There are videos on my YouTube channel. There are pictures on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ZariBanks. So definitely go and check those things out. They will be a blessing to you if you're familiar with that system and everything. But I have a couple things that I want to share. Let me just give thanks to God. Lord, I just thank you. I praise you. I magnify you. I honor you. I glorify you. And I bless you. You are great and greatly to be praised. I thank you for the prophetic words that you are fulfilling in my life in this season. And I thank you for where you're taking me in the days ahead. I am talking super fast because I just got off of a plane at 12:48, and I'm about to get back on one at 6:30 p.m. So I've only got just under 4 hours to get some laundry done, pack a new bag, take a shower, take a nap, and then get going for my next trip. But I have been saying on this podcast for a long time that the Lord was going to send me out. The Lord's going to send me out. And now he's sending me out full mass. And it's crazy to be ripping and running like this all the time. And it's so funny. Let me tell you something. God will definitely push you out of your comfort zone, which we already know. But he will really do that. And he'll also deliver you as he's doing that. Because I don't like to fly. Like when the international travel was released to me in 2016 by Apostle Candace Ford at the 3rd Annual Grow Your Dreams Conference in Virginia Beach, Virginia. She was like, God's ready to release international travel to you. And I'm like, but I don't like to travel. And she just starts laughing. And it's on Facebook. On YouTube, you can watch the video of when she's releasing it. And she's like, God knows that, but he'll take you through it. So these last 3 weeks, I haven't been traveling internationally, but I've been running up and down all over the country, from the West Coast to the East Coast to Texas, to back to the West Coast and all this stuff. And so I've got all this traveling going on. So he's getting me used to that pace, getting me used to that process and everything. And it is an adjustment, because I've always enjoyed doing what I'm doing now, is recording my podcast and my videos and stuff like that from the comfort of my own home, but I don't get to do that anymore. So just keep in mind that, when God says those things, like he's going to send you out and all this stuff, he really will send you out. And let me tell you this as a witness, he will remove every obstacle in your way that would stop you from being sent out when he says he's going to send you out. And this is so funny. One of the things that Apostle Candace said when she was releasing international travel over me, she was releasing hotels paid for and airfare paid for. And God set me up so that I have airfare paid for wherever I want to go. So that's just an amazing thing. And it's so funny, before I got approved for the everywhere I want to go airfare, everywhere he needs to send me, that is airfare. Because it's not just so I can go run wild. It's, specifically for assignments for the Lord. But he was waiting for a complete yes from me. Because before I was saying, yeah, I guess I'll go wherever you send me. But I was worshiping Sunday night, which was April 9th, my brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Quan. And congratulations on your engagement from your birthday. So I was worshiping that Sunday night. It was after the Grow Dreams conference had ended, and I was in bed at the hotel, and I was just worshiping and singing to the Lord. And then I started, I was praying in tongues, and then my worship changed. And when I was speaking in English, the next thing I was singing this heartfelt song. I don't sing very well naturally. You all know that because I've sung before, but when I'm worshiping, it actually doesn't sound too bad. So all of a sudden I just start singing this song about I'll go wherever he wants to take me. I'll go, Lord, I'll go, I'll go, I'll go. And then like right after that, like within 24 hours, I was approved to get, wherever I need to go for the Lord airfare. And it was like that. He was waiting for that absolute yes. He's like, because you know how it is with God. If you say you're going to do something, he knows your heart. He knows, what kind of attitude you're going to have and all that good stuff. And he wants to know that you're fully in, because kingdom assignments are big assignments. Lots of people out there, let me tell you, lots of people want marketplace ministries. Okay, well, I've been launched into a marketplace ministry, and let me tell you, it's tiring, and there are major sacrifices that you have to pay to be able to have a marketplace ministry. Your family has to pay a cost. You have to pay a cost. All of that stuff. Your body pays a cost. Your body takes a toll, because traveling and jumping on and off planes and being around people coughing, sniffing, picking their noses and all that stuff potentially could wear on your body. You have to be aware of all that stuff. So if you're all excited about marketplace ministry, or if you're all excited about traveling for ministry and God doing all that stuff in your life, you need to be thinking about all of those things, before, because God's timing is not like yours. You may meet somebody that you want to marry, and then the next thing you know, years past, you've been asking God to send you out internationally, and all of a sudden he's ready to send you out, and then you meet somebody that you want to marry. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to take the marriage, or are you going to go travel as the Lord sends you? So be thinking about all those things, and stop just asking for stuff. When God says that you have to die to yourself, he's telling the truth. And I have died and died and died and died. Listen, when I went to Passover at Glory of Zion, that was like so many of the things that I have been experiencing in my own life were spoken by the speakers there. And it's typical, because when you're covenant with people, you guys go through the same types of cycles and seasons in your lives. So it's making complete sense that they had been experiencing some of the things I experienced. And one of the speakers got up there, Jane Heyman, and was saying that I have died and died and died over and over again, over and over again. I have died and died and died to myself. And look at her ministry. Yeah, you got to die to yourself. You have to get to that place where you're like, okay, Lord, I'm willing to give up marriage. I'm willing to give up blah, 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 blah. And he's not saying you can't have those things. It's just that, you have to put everything on the back burner when he's sending you out to do something. And no, it's not forever. Usually for most of us, there are seasons when, you have to neglect some stuff, or I'm saying neglect. It's not, it's not really neglect. You got to put systems in place so people don't get neglected, because God loves them. Even if he's sending you away from them to go and minister, you still need to be loving them, even from a distance or whatever. And as you're working and as you're serving. But, just be thinking about all of that stuff. There's a cost, there's a price that has to be paid. And, a lot of those costs people don't want to pay. That's why they're aren't greater, bigger, more than the, like the top 5 or 6 big ministries in the United States that we're all aware of, because everybody doesn't want to pay the price. After I found out what the price was, I had changed my mind. But once you get in it, you can't change your mind, because if you don't stick with the Lord, then you never get restitution for all that you've lost. You got to stick with him all the way if you want to have victory from all of your sacrifices, if you want to reap harvest from everything that you've sown. So, that's that portion that I wanted to tell you about. But this is the great thing, because the Lord has set it up so that I can go places when I'm invited. As of right now, I'm not going internationally, because I'm holding off getting my passport until at the very last minute. And I told him that I'm going to wait, because just traveling throughout the United States is tiring. I can't even imagine, 13-hour, 14-hour flights and all that stuff. And so I just need a little bit of time. And until he says you need to go now and get that passport, I'm going to wait. So if you're in the United States and you would like me to come and speak for you, I'm able to do that without you having to pay airfare for me to come. And if you would like to have me come and speak and teach, then you just need to send us an email. Go to zaribanks.co. There's the email on the front page in the paragraph. There's an email box on the second page underneath the videos, and you can just go and make a request. And if you're asking for me to come, please, it needs to be at least a month out. It can't be like, oh, can you come next weekend? No, it needs to be at least 30 days, preferably 90 days out before you would like me to come. So send in your request at least 3 months in advance. That would be the best. But anyway, so that's what the Lord has done. He's launched me into marketplace ministry. And so I just thank you and honor everybody who's sown, everybody who's prayed, everybody who's interceded, all of that stuff for me. Speaking of, I'm always looking for intercessors, faithful intercessors, to come. And I write out the prayers for you every week and give you free resources and stuff like that. You don't even have to think about what you need to pray. You just need to focus with what I've written for you to pray and come into agreement with that. And then just let me know if the Lord speaks anything to you, if he shows you any visions. or anything like that. And it doesn't even have to be for a long time. It can be just as short as, okay, I'm going to pray for you for 4 weeks, It could be as short as that. But I like to have people who will intercede for me for like 3 months at a time. So that way I only have to do 4 sessions a year. But if that's too much of a commitment for you, because it's not as easy to find people to pray as it should be, being that we're all believers. But I invite you to be an intercessor for me. I really would appreciate that. I can always use prayer. Anybody who's out doing active work in the ministry can always use prayer. And, people always say pray for pastors. Well, don't forget about us prophets. Don't forget about the apostles, the evangelists, and the teachers as well. We all need prayer, not just pastors. Okay? So don't forget that. And then another thing that I wanted to say was that I just heard this great testimony about a child who was being accused of having ADHD when he was young. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, if ADHD would have been as popular back when I was in grade school as it is now, I probably would have been labeled as ADHD too. And so what I wanted to talk to you about today, loved ones, is that, after we're grown up and we're trying to get delivered from all of our issues, we are always trying to get delivered from the labels that people have placed on us. So if you are a parent, or even if you're not, I charge you right now today to not allow and do not come into agreement with any label that somebody tries to put on your child. If somebody comes to your child, I don't care if they're a teacher, principal, doctor, I don't care who they are. If they come to you and try to say this child is ADHD, you stop them right there and say, you don't have the authority to speak this or label my child with this. My child will not agree with this label. My family's not coming to agree with it. You're not going to label them. You're not going to speak this over them. And I'm telling you right now, as one who has authority in his life, that you will watch what you speak about my child, right? You need to stop those labels right then and there so that the kids aren't needing to be delivered from them when they're adults. That's the thing about our words and about ADHD and stuff like that. When you speak that over kids, they become what you speak, especially if you're an authority figure in their life, because you're just prophesying over them. So stop prophesying ADHD over them and prophesy that they have lots of energy because they serve the Lord with fervor, and excitement every day of their lives. But don't allow other people to put labels on your children. Stop that as soon as it starts so that they're not going through all the deliverance that you are needing and have gone through in your adult life, right? Just don't do that. You have the authority as their parent. You are the one who are in control of them. You don't let other people try to tell your kids what they are and what they're not. That's the same thing with medical reports. Your kid's never going to be able to walk. Your kid's never going to be able to hear. You don't allow them to speak that stuff over your children. God can do something in the snap of a finger. Don't let other people label your children. Don't let other people label your children. As an adult, the damage that it caused and all the stuff that you need repaired. So don't let people do that to your kids. Speak life over them constantly, consistently. Don't allow them to speak anything over themselves. God made them. God loves them. And there's a reason that you were given authority and care over them. Stewarding is what you're doing with them. You don't actually own them. They belong to Him, so do what He wants done in the raising of your children. I did this and I'm a witness of it. When I first started homeschooling my kiddo, I asked the Lord, what do you want me to focus on? Because my mentor advised me, my apostle advised me to do that because he homeschooled one of his sons. And the Lord said, well, you teach him how to honor me, how to serve me, and learn about me, and I'll take care of his education. And this kid's a genius because he learned about God first. Now, you don't necessarily need to do that with your homeschool. You ask God what He wants you to do if you're choosing to homeschool your kids. But, I trusted the Lord more than I trusted myself to come up with the curriculum, and God proved faithful because now he's in AP honors classes, first year in high school. Right. And in my worst subject, no less. Math is my worst subject. And yet this kid's AP honors in math, my worst subject. And I was his teacher for the last 4 years. That just goes to show you that God said, if you do this, Banks, then I'm going to do this. And he did exactly that. And he even did greater because I just wanted the kid to pass math. But he went above and beyond passing math. He's a standout in math. That's pretty spectacular. And God can do that for your kids as well. All right. So again, talking about being delivered from labels and stuff like that. When I first started talking about going out into marketplace ministry, I was talking about the Lord delivering you from your fears and all that stuff. Let me tell you something. In 2011, prior to 2011, I was a terrible flyer. I didn't like to fly. I was afraid of flying. I didn't want anybody to talk to me, look at me. I didn't want the windows up when I was flying, any of that. Got delivered from unforgiveness in October 2011. I was able to fly without fear. And then not liking to travel and stuff like that. The Lord is working with me on that. He's adjusting me so that I can do what he's asked me to do and what he's called me to do. Don't necessarily like being out of the house producing materials and stuff like that, and yet he's teaching me to do that, helping me to do that. I've shared on podcasts and videos and stuff like that before, like when I am out walking and going to Walmart or going to the post office or whatever, I don't talk to people. I just do what I'm doing and get back in the car and go somewhere. Okay, well, since the Lord has sent me out, like I am on the lookout now for people that he's speaking over so that I can go release words to them and pray for them and stuff like that. The Lord's turning me into an outgoing person. You always just assume that somebody's outgoing when they are doing videos and podcasts and things like that, but that's not necessarily true. I have been comfortable doing this in the privacy of my own home, but now the Lord's like, I need you to be out face to face in front of people. So that's different for me. That requires, lots of Holy Spirit power, but that's okay because he's willing to pour it in any area that you're weak. All right, this is getting long, so I'm going to stop right there. I bless you in the name and the authority of the Lord Jesus Christ. Don't forget to visit me at zaribanks.co, and you can always go to the Supernatural You books page and buy some books or download some teachings and things like that. Those things will bless you tremendously. All right, take care.